We play them 10 times, they might do it 9.
¿Cómo están, bitches?
Hey, what's up, everybody? We got Dave Pikus here with another edition of Talking Busch. I'm joined this week by the original cast and crew. We got in Painesville, Minnesota, Johnny Thompson.
Man, I need to open up a couple of Steve Weisers and lay the smack down, because that's the bottom line. Because Stone Cold said so.
Woo! All right, in St. Paul, Broad, he almost lost his spot by anybody else that wanted it last week. Derek Hartman. Derek, how you doing?
I'm great. How are you guys?
I'm doing real well.
Good to be back on solid land here.
You weren't on solid land? Where were
I
you?
spent a lot of time in the airplane.
And as always, over in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, he did not get hit by the tornado last night. We did lose a few branches. Matty Train, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Safe and sound over here, so feel pretty good about that. 1-0, feel pretty good about that. All's right with the world.
Lame. All right.
It's because you got a softball the first week. God.
Oh, I scored more points than you did.
How many did you score?
112, I think.
Oh.
Oh, good for you!
I don't believe
From
you.
that week. No one cares.
I don't believe you. You're thinking of you're thinking of the what town are you from? Minnesota.
No.
You're not from there, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, the Minnesota League disbanded a long time ago. Funny story about that. Some family feud
Good.
stuff. Yeah, it didn't.
Was this like Days of Our Lives?
It was.
Yep.
It kind of felt like that when it was happening. Yeah.
Serious.
Yeah.
Go on.
Well, you know, as you said, I'm not from Minnesota, so I didn't know jack shit about any of this stuff. But some stuff got brought up with sisters and adults, and it was a bad deal.
Jesus.
Yeah, I'll just leave it at that. And then it ended.
Good God, man.
Yeah.
Sounds pretty Alabama-like.
Well,
yeah, I know you're
Northwest Minnesota.
I know you're not from Minnesota, but your namesake is like that's the right. Yep. Like a lot of your
Train Family Farm, Minnesota, Minnesota. Yep.
Yeah, there you go. Jesus. Good God, man.
I mean, that's what they were doing, right?
Getting pretty loose with that board.
Yeah, look at what he's drinking. That thing's like a 12 ABV. Oh, yeah.
The big guy. All right, I'm going to wrangle you guys back in. Let's,
I don't know. I kind of like this loosey-goosey nonsense.
But, all right, well, John, did you have a great weekend, or did you just have a really, really good weekend down in the metro?
Slap on the old back. I had a great weekend. I don't know if you know this or not, but I got to go to the Vikings game on Sunday.
Oh, good for you!
I got to watch the game from the Miller Coors Suite field level.
Dang.
When Kirk Cousins jumped over the offensive line to score the touchdown, I literally saw the ball go over the goal line and knew it was a touchdown immediately. That's how close I was. It was freaking awesome.
Oh, good for you!
Matt Ryan in warm-ups almost drilled our suite with a fade pass to Julio Jones that was way over his head. It like bounced off. I don't even know, but it bounced and Julio had to come get the ball. It was freaking sweet. It was awesome.
So you knew right then that it was happening?
What's that?
You knew right then it was happening?
Yeah.
Like Matty Ice didn't have it.
Yeah, I was just like, oh, Jesus. And yeah, it was, he does throw a tight spiral, though. It's actually really fun to watch him throw just in warm-ups. Has a nice cannon. But, yeah, it was awesome. So,
nice.
Oh, good for me. Yep. Great weekend.
Humble brag.
Yeah, humble brag.
Matty Train, how was being a dad of 2 kids?
Yeah, it was good. Watched the Vikings. Paul Logan in the first with the little girl. So the girls played together. We watched the Vikings. That was fun. And then baby got sick. And then we had tornadoes. So I've been downhill since then, but
Uh-huh.
Sunday was good.
That's good. Derek, how was your trip?
It was wonderful.
Where did
Prague
you
is,
go?
we went to Vienna, Bratislava, and Prague. Prague
Good
is
for you.
a wonderful city, and I highly recommend everybody goes. Vienna, skip it. Don't go. Not worth it.
That's one man's opinion.
Yeah.
Glad
But
you
it's
had a
the
great
right-
time. Glad you're back. Glad you made it. Dave, what did you do this weekend?
I just had a nice weekend up north. A little golf weekend with my buddies. Team event on
I thought
Friday.
we were your buddies. We weren't there.
Team event on Friday. Individual event on Saturday. Pretty fun. Lot of drinks. I actually only got to watch the first half of the Vikings game because I took a wonderful nap from about halftime to 6 p.m. So that's always great.
Mhm.
More sleep continuously than I've had in a long time. So that was wonderful. But no, all in all, great weekend up there. Didn't win, didn't lose. So super good time. But
You play to win the game.
not when there's scratch golfers up there. It's pretty difficult.
That's what handicaps are for.
I know, but not. These guys are really good. That being said, it was only like 60 degrees on Saturday, and
Indeed.
fall was in the air. The leaves are actually starting to turn a little bit up there, so that's
They're
great.
turning here.
I know, well, it's been fucking cold here too. But that being
Ah.
said, what are your guys' favorite fall activities? You got favorite fall beers? You got favorite festivals? I'm sure you guys get drunk to some corn mazes and that kind of bullshit. But what do you got, Johnny?
Yeah. So the wife, she likes to do the old what pumpkin patches, apple
yeah.
orchards, that whole deal.
That's terrible.
Yeah, I get drugged to it, spend way too much money. Me personally, I like to frequent any tap room that's got some fall releases. I love Oktoberfest. Actually, a friend of mine who is from New Ulm was asking if we wanted to go to the Shells Oktoberfest. I've never been, so might have to hit that up. And then, this is just one of many releases coming out besides Oktoberfest.
Not in
the Voodoo
focus,
Rain-
buddy.
It wasn't in focus?
No,
Well,
Back
it's
it
a-
off a little bit.
It's Voodoo Ranger. Obviously, their series is pretty awesome. It's the Atomic Pumpkin. A lot of breweries got really good Oktoberfest coming out.
You're Pumpkin Man?
No, but it's a free sample. Dude, Derek, I have so much beer in my bait. You thought I had a lot of beer when I worked for Third Street? Doesn't even compare. Not even close. I walk into our meetings and there is like new samples every day, and I just
Grab them all.
Nice.
Oh, I'm such a klepto.
Nice.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah.
Iowa's
It
pretty
is.
much taken care of then, huh?
yeah.
Perfect.
Again, it will be taken care of. So we got, just to name a few, Derek. Derek is more of the local tap room. He can get us hooked up with some good, some small, some of the smaller or bigger breweries down in the cities. But like the big national ones, Voodoo Rangers got a good one. And then there's just a ton of Oktoberfest, Summit, Liney's.
I like Summit. Sam Adams makes a good Oktoberfest.
Sam Adams is good.
I mean-
I still do think Third Street is my favorite. Their Oktoberfest, I think it's solid. Beaver Islands is pretty good. Uda Pills has their Fest beer, which is just it's Oktoberfest. Insight didn't release one this year. Castle Danger only does a Maple Marzen and a Red Hop, so they stay away from the actual Oktoberfest.
I had a Bauhaus earlier today. Not so shabby.
Yeah. So there's a ton of them. I think actually one of my favorite styles is Marzens. I don't know why, but I just freaking love them. Love them.
Mm-hmm.
And then I did get, before they all sold out, I got some from the old country. Got a couple of Polliners. Huh? Yeah.
Polliner is good.
Polliner is good.
Mhm.
That's the like OG Oktoberfest. So, yeah, that's pretty much what I like to do for the fall maybe Dave, if you come back, we'll have to relive the old glories, go hit the old New London Spicer football game on a Friday night.
Says I haven't done that yet. 2-0,
Yeah.
by the way.
Yeah, true story. Ran into Booney at the liquor store the other day.
Of course you did.
Of course I did.
All right. Well, I'm sure the other two of you yahoos are going to be doing those fun fall festivals and apple orchards and pumpkin patches and corn mazes with your ladies to get that photo with the probably matching plaid shirts on. So have fun fucking doing that.
Hey, give me
What do you do?
give me the St. Croix River. Give me Taylor's Falls in the fall.
Ooh,
Beer,
yeah.
Taylor's Falls. I'm good.
I've heard Hudson is
Duluth.
good too. Can anybody?
Duluth is amazing.
Yeah, Duluth too. Hudson, Matt, don't you frequent there, or Derek?
I was in Hudson a couple weekends ago, about a month ago. I was in Hudson. Haven't been there for the fall foliage though.
Yeah, someone was telling me that's one thing you need to do during fall is hit that up. Is Hudson, so might have to do that too. Who knows? I mean,
you and a million other people.
Yeah, it's like cool little Sunday. Maybe go to Home Depot, Bed Bath & Beyond. I don't know if I'll have enough time.
All right, John, you were at the game on Sunday.
Sure was.
Give us a little recap of your Minnesota Vikings going 1-0.
Where do I start? That defense, man, set the tone. Xavier Rhodes, he has Julio's number. Julio didn't do much. They just set the tone, and that was an old school smash mouth football game for the Vikings. Maybe not so much for the Falcons because they were playing catch up, but overall played awesome. The offense, they had a couple of times where I think the offensive line still isn't it's not all Pro Bowlers on there, but they, for the most part, I mean, Dalvin Cook had a pretty good game, 111 yards, 2 touchdowns. So they played reasonably well. There's nothing really to talk about the pass game because Kirk Cousins only threw the ball 10 times, but he was 8 for 10. So, I mean, he was efficient when he threw it. Where I was sitting, unfortunately, a lot of the action happened at the opposite side of the field. I did get to see one touchdown, Kirk Cousins on the goal line. I think this Bradbury draft pick is going to help a lot. I think that just creates a lot more pulling center run plays, and the zone scheme itself, I think, is going to really help, especially on those toss plays. If I'm being honest, it seemed like the toss plays and the stretch plays, from a blocking standpoint, just suit this offensive line way better. That's where I think they had their most success. When they tried to do the dive plays up the middle, I mean, they got a couple yards, but, I mean, Alexander Madison broke off a couple of 10, 15-yard runs. So I'm excited.
I think he's going to be good, by the way.
Yeah, I'm excited. I think it's a good 1-2 punch with Madsen and Cook. Obviously, you got Thielen, Diggs. Irv Smith blocked really, really well. I think he came out underrated. Obviously, the 2 Iowa boys, I mean, that's all they do down there is block. That's what they're bred to do, and then catch passes. Irv Smith, I think, was underrated as a blocker because, I mean, if you think about it, too, they run the ball a lot in Alabama. But I'm excited for. I'm not gonna crown him yet. Mike Zimmer said it best. This is overreaction Monday, but even though it's Wednesday, not gonna overreact. They still got to go to Green Bay. Green Bay was tough in Chicago. Their defense is obviously way better than it was last year. Their offense looked awful, but they got to go.
Chicago's offense just that bad.
I hope that when it comes time for the Vikings to play Chicago, they can do what Green Bay did, which is make Mitchell Trubisky play quarterback, because obviously he can. Am I wrong in saying that, or?
Didn't look like it last week.
No, I think if they can do that, where I don't want to say, because like last year in Chicago, he killed us because he scrambled quite a bit, I think, if I remember right.
A ton.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's what killed us. So
Yep.
keep him in there, do a spy, contain, whatever they got to do to make him play quarterback and beat us. But overall, like I said, the defense looked awesome. It was a good day, good game. So
Quick reaction, guys. What do you think? Vikings in the playoffs?
Playoffs?
Yes.
yeah,
I mean,
not
yes.
I didn't say division champion. They will be in the playoffs.
This game is the opposite of the Gophers SDSU game. The Gophers SDSU
Jesus.
game, the Gophers aren't that bad in that game.
Jesus.
The Vikings aren't. They're not all going to be this good. I mean,
Well, duh. It was the same
right?
thing that
And so
they blocked a punt and scored off the turnover.
yeah, so yeah, I mean I still put the over
Bad
under
analogy.
it. I
I'm
still
just
put the
laughing
over
because
under
you totally take a shot at the Gophers whenever you
Any way
can.
possible.
Any way you can, you do. And you,
Anti-flex fuck.
Dave, what did you guys think from? Well, Derek, you were out of the country, I think, right?
I was.
Dave, from
You know,
the first half.
You know, it's football. We got the momentum.
Yeah.
We capitalized on that momentum, and we buried them early.
Yeah.
You know, there's nothing worse than, you know, going out, we score, or whatever, start the game off the way that we did, get those couple turnovers, and then our defense just gets amped up like they can't be stopped, and then it's over.
Yeah. Good point I heard today. I can't remember if it was on PA show or if it was can't remember who it was, but they said one good thing, hopefully that they can carry this momentum into through the season is so they block the punt, right? Then they get a holding penalty and they go back 10 yards, but they were any other Vikings team would have kicked a field goal, right?
Yep.
This one scored. They got 7.
Yeah, that's true.
Hopefully they can continue to do stuff like that where there's adversity. And that happened a couple times in that game. I think on the midfield, too, they had another holding call, and they somehow got 7 out of it. I can't remember which drive it was, but it happened a couple times during that game where they actually shot themselves in the foot, but they were able to reload and move forward and not stall the drive out.
Yeah.
They got things
Having
rolling
not-
for them. They got things rolling for them right away, and I think the issue that I have, and it's not an issue, you can't ask for anything more than what they did, but you still had questions. You know what I mean? Questions like, can we protect Kirk Cousins? Can the offensive line protect Kirk Cousins if we have to drop back and pass? We didn't get to answer that question, right?
That segues into my question for you guys, having watched the game. Knowing the result, knowing how the game unfolded, would you have liked them to pass more than 10 times? Would you like them to drop back maybe 15 or 18 to maybe answer some of those questions? Maybe see,
No.
where you're at?
No, I don't think so.
No.
Do you want to
It's
go
a long
first?
season.
I heard a good analogy again today. It had to have been the power trip because that's the only radio I got to listen to today. But it was kind of glad that they didn't have to open up the passing playbook because it doesn't show Green Bay really anything when it comes to passing for either a protection standpoint or like what route combinations they're going to do in certain formations. So it kind of is a good thing because Green Bay doesn't really know what to study. Maybe they do because I guess Matt LaFleur kind of comes from the same tree, right? I think he was under Sean McVay, that whole deal. Sean McVay was under John Gruden. John Gruden, Mike Shanahan come from the same coaching tree, so they kind of run the same systems, that whole spiel. So I guess in a way it is a good thing because, yeah, then the Packers don't really have anything like, oh, when they're in shotgun with 3 wide, this is their favorite thing to do right now. There's nothing on it. So all they got
Well, and
is
they didn't really give us anything either.
Yeah.
You know, after Thielen and Diggs both caught those long balls,
go
they were,
on.
sat there, doubled us, or kind of shaded a guy over the top either direction,
Yeah.
which opened up the run.
Well,
So
see,
we were to the second level right away.
I guess the good thing is we kind of know now how to beat the Seattle cover 3 because the whole game, that's all Atlanta played. They were single high safety cover 3.
Yeah, that's Dan Quinn.
Yep. So when we go to Seattle, I think we go there again, or do they come here? I think we play them again. I have to check the schedule.
I can't remember where.
So hopefully that's good practice for when we have to go into Seattle and face the Seattle cover 3. because they figured it out from a running standpoint, and I'd like to think that Atlanta's D-line is a little better than, well, not with
Wrong.
not with Clowney. I forgot about that. Clowney, that is a difference maker.
Well,
but
we can figure out a way to, throw the different,
yeah,
2 tight end sets that we've been running, and we can
Right.
make it.
agree.
All right, so let's go around the NFL here. Week 1, kind of a weird week. One of the major topics coming out of it was, with so many ball in the preseason, and you get to week 1, it takes a while to get everybody up and running again, and concerning to a lot of people, especially in a few different franchises, I guess. So what are you guys' thoughts on, should these guys play at least in the preseason enough to get their shit together so they can play as a full unit, or is it fine and just no one cares about week 1 and 2 of the regular season?
I don't know you had enough consistency across. Well, I mean, was there a lot of sloppy football? For sure. I mean, we had a ton of defensive touchdowns, safeties, blocked kicks, but you also had offenses come out and put up big-time points. I mean, it happens on both sides of the ball. Sometimes the defense is behind, sometimes the offense. I'm okay with it. I mean, the league does normalize over time, and the first few weeks are crazy, but I guess I kind of enjoy it. I don't know. I'm okay with it.
Go ahead, Derek.
I mean, I tend to agree with Train.
That's a first.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen very often.
Jeez, you guys want a room? Good lord.
Oh,
Maybe. I mean, you remember the year that New England just got curb stomped by the Chiefs? They went and lost their next
0-2.
game,
Yeah,
and they
0-2.
went 13-3.
Yeah.
Yep.
Good teams are still going to come out in the end, and bad teams are still going to end up bad.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter what happens week 1 or week 2. Teams will figure it out. Would it maybe be better for fans if everybody was playing at their best right away? Sure.
Yeah.
But they don't
Your Browns
give a
were
shit about
booed
us.
off the field at halftime.
God, man,
Poor Baker.
poor Baker. I'm also gonna agree with Derek and Matt. Just a couple of star players minus Julio Jones, but again, Xavier Rhodes usually has his number, so that's a different deal. But Le'Veon Bell played really well for his first game. Who else has sat out? Like, some of those guys didn't really miss a beat because they were practicing during training camp. They just didn't see any actual live action. So, yeah, I think in the Saints New Orleans game is a perfect example. I mean, those defenses usually are, I think, especially the Saints were really good last year, and they just got shredded.
Their
So-
offense played like garbage for the first 3 quarters of that game.
They did.
They looked like they had no clue what the fuck they were doing.
Well, maybe they didn't. But then they figured it out magically. And
Also,
it's just like the Cardinals, too. The Cardinals played like absolute horseshit to the point where Kyler Murray was going to actually retire after the game and go play baseball. And they figured it out. So, yeah, I think I like it that way. That's just my personal opinion. It sucks for fantasy football owners because you don't know who to add on waivers. You don't know what to do.
I mean, good owners know what they're doing.
You don't know what the fuck
No,
you're doing.
good owners get lucky.
Yeah.
Oh, is that why the
You know-
best 2 teams from last year are in first place right now and second place?
In week 1 of the season, yes.
In
that's
week
why.
1, wow,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
congrats.
That's why.
Yeah, it is.
Just
Yeah.
saying.
Do you think Austin Eckler is going to do what he did again? Somebody hit the Trump sounder. Wrong.
Wrong.
Absolutely not.
We'll see.
Yeah, we will
Yep.
see.
Oh yeah.
I
see
can't wait
about
for
the
Matt.
rest of your
I
team,
can't
too.
wait for you and Matt to face each other. This is going to be such a fun week.
Trent, you wearing that $6 Casio watch still?
No, it broke.
Broke.
Yeah.
God, you
Actually, the rubber strap broke. The watch still worked, but the strap broke.
oh,
You know
yeah.
you can get those at Walmart, right? Those rubber.
Well-
they sell Casios there.
All right.
High-end deal. They probably don't have one of those in Sioux Falls.
Sioux Falls is a high-end town.
Well, your
You
boy,
watch your goddamn mouth, Dave.
Odell Beckham Jr., wearing a nice-ass watch during his play. Matt, what are your thoughts on wearing a watch while you play?
Okay, so I've got ESPN radio here. I do not have KFAN.
Oh, good
No,
for
it's
you.
not good for me.
KFAN, you
It's,
just
Wow,
it's
Grace
not.
so
No,
high
it
end.
all day
no,
long on
no.
radio.
God, you guys, shut up.
We don't have Sam's Clubs. We only have Costco's because we're so high end
I'm
here.
about to complain about the fact that I have ESPN. I'm not bragging about it. God.
Has never heard of iHeartRadio.
Yeah. iHeartRadio app. Ever heard of it? Power Trip.
You stream that shit all day long.
Power Trip After Party. Dan Barrero. Heard of him? Bueller. Anybody?
So every show for 3 days until Antonio Brown rapes somebody. The only thing that anybody talks about is
We raped her last year, 2018.
until the news is broke that Antonio Brown allegedly raped somebody. Man, like every single show, every single time I turned on the radio, Odell Beckham's watch. What does it mean? Does that mean he's selfish? How much does that watch cost? Well, this is how much it costs, and there was only this many in the world, and here's the market value. And is that real? Oh my God! Shut up! I don't care. Am I alone at this? I don't give a shit if he wears a watch.
Can I
I don't
ask you
care
a question?
if it costs $1 million. Who cares?
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Do you realize how spoiled we are with KFAN compared to other markets?
Oh, it's terrible. I turn it off. I just turn it off.
You realize it when you leave the Minneapolis-St. Paul area and you have to listen to garbage like Denver, Chicago, New
12
York.
hours of Atlanta Falcons football.
Oh my God. It's just like
Every
you feel
Monday.
so spoiled when you come back and you listen to Dan Barrow actually interviewing or somebody with a purpose or the Power Trip just being the way they are, which is awesome, or any of it. We are so spoiled up here. It's awesome. So
It's like as the week goes on, they get into new depths of analysis on a watch that a guy's fucking wearing. And
Well,
it's just
what
like,
do you think? It's a $350,000 watch.
it's his money,
So-
man. If he wants to wear a watch, I don't give a shit.
The only thing I care about is that he catches touchdowns and a lot of yards too, because he's on my fantasy team.
he is. Which one? Not this one. Did you get him? I don't
Yeah,
care. 'Cause I don't care about your team. Your team sucks.
easy as A,
Not that
B,
great.
C.
Yeah, that guy didn't even see the field on Sunday. You might want to rethink your team name.
Nah, that's good.
He just didn't play it all last year either. Maybe a good luck charm.
Yeah, what was your team name?
He was your daddy.
Uh,
Yep.
Madden
Yep,
curse.
that was a winner. It's on the trophy, guys. It'll never be forgotten.
Just take it off.
Is your
All
name
right.
on there? Is your name on there twice? Cause I am. My name is.
Zing.
Cool. So the last piece of news is the AV saga.
Oh yeah, you do have Odell. Good for you.
Lots
Sure do.
going on here. Obviously, since our last show, he was released by the Raiders, picked up by the Patriots. Apparently wearing a new helmet today. Staying overnight at Tom Brady's house because they are best friends. All kinds of conspiracy theories going around.
Yeah.
And now new allegations. I mean, we can open the door. We got all the time in the world if you guys want to talk about this.
Let's start pre-rape.
Well, yeah, we're not even going to talk about that because we don't know anything
Yeah, I just know that she's good looking.
other than it's being
smokes.
a little bit floated that he might be on the commissioner's exemption list.
I asked like 2 months ago or a month and a half ago when we were just starting this back up, was Antonio Brown a genius or completely mentally insane? I ask it again. After working his way out, his contract with New England is going to pay him the exact same amount he would have got already with the Raiders and $5 million more next year.
Guys,
A genius or mentally insane?
I think that hit from Perfect did something, but yeah. So I don't know. I guess he walks a fine line. He does. He walks a fine line. Yeah.
I don't know.
That's my answer.
I wouldn't go through the foot deal that he's going through just for these millions of dollars. It's disgusting, and
Sarah?
The dude is the best wide receiver in the NFL by talent. All this shit that he's going, he doesn't have to do very much to earn a bunch of money. He just has to All he has to do is.
Well, he
not
needs to
do
show
it.
up because he
Well, yeah, but
didn't get paid a cent from the Raiders.
no, I agree. But my point is, I don't think he's genius because this would be the extremely long way to make his money. You know what I mean?
Well,
It's a long
if
play.
they wouldn't let him go to. I mean, that's the conspiracy
Pittsburgh
theory
wouldn't
that's out
trade
there.
him to New
They
England.
wouldn't trade him in division to.
It's just like
Pick-
Brett Favre. They
He
wouldn't
pulled
trade him to the
Favre,
Vikings.
but got there a year quicker.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's a true story.
I don't know. Knowing what you know now, would you want him on the Vikings?
Absolutely. I'd take him. Can't get to Miami with just two of them. You need all three.
Not interested.
I mean, you probably can, but I just like that saying.
Too much.
No
serious.
thanks.
Not
Yep,
interested.
nope.
We went through Randy Moss.
Yeah, we could handle this guy.
Yeah, we can handle
But
that.
I mean, we don't have Denny Green anymore. So,
Yeah.
Okay.
all right.
What the hell's going on out there?
Any more AB talk? Any other NFL talkers that you guys want to get off your chest?
No, but I wondered, Derek, did you know your tight end is out for a really long time? Hunter Henry, did you know that?
I didn't.
Breaking
know
You
that.
news.
didn't.
Got him in
You
there.
didn't know that? He's out 4 to 6 weeks.
Well, that's not
Yeah.
great.
Would you like to make? I'll trade you George Kittle for something.
Yeah, sure. What do you want?
Deshaun
Mike
Watson
Evans?
and Mike Evans.
Not
Andre
Ant.
Brady.
Hold on a second here. He was just about to trade George Kittle for Deshaun Watson. Oh, hold on. Sorry. I was thinking Deshaun Jackson.
Yeah, what are you freaking high?
Whoa.
Yeah.
You
Jesus, man.
wish.
Yeah, my
You
bad.
wish.
Well, dude,
Yes, John.
high or just incredibly stupid?
He is.
my bad.
Uh,
All right. Let's get into a little
I
bit of.
can't have. So let me get this straight before we move on. I can't have both. I have to pick one.
You get
Or
Mike
both.
Evans.
Let's take this
Oh.
offline.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. God, you guys are no fun. You guys stick to a script.
Speaking of that, John, how do you
Jesus.
feel about trading in our league in general?
Are
We're
we-
gonna get there.
Okay, don't, Dave. You know Dave's OCD. You can't jump
There's-
out of line. You have to
There's
go
a
down the
perfect
script.
transition right now.
The transition was already talked about. We got a whole thing on transactions
All right,
coming up
go,
here in a minute.
go, go.
Okay, two
Go.
things. Commissioner note.
Okay.
Just like in every other year that we've had this league, the week turns over on Tuesday morning at like 6 a.m.
Yeah.
So you can't move guys to the IR until next week. So
Right.
we had an issue with that. We got it cleared up. Good to go. Second, same with guys that get dropped. There's a 1-day waiver period if you're not in the original auction period. So today, anybody that got dropped last night over with the transactions from the waiver wire, they have a 1-day waiting period before you can pick them up tomorrow morning. It's always been that way. That's how it is. Had a lot of questions today on it. So those two
That's funny.
things.
I'm so
Good to
glad
go.
you have to deal with that and not me.
hmm
I'm glad you have
That's
to
how
deal
it's
with it,
always
dude.
been.
It's just
For
it's
16 years. Not 16, but a lot.
we've done. It's been the same way forever with the years that we've been on ESPN because that's how
Dave,
it works.
Dave, did I send you
No.
an email or a text message about
Nope,
today?
but I woke up and
because
I had.
I'm fucking smart and I don't question things like
Can you
that.
please throw somebody under the bus, please?
Oh, please do.
Jeff
Please
was
do.
having some issues with the IR spot.
Fucking Jeff.
I don't
Weird.
I don't blame him. He was just doing it too early in the day. No issues.
Fucking Jeff. That transition.
Screw 'em.
That transitions into my trade talk whenever you're ready.
All right, go ahead. So,
So-
I was already halfway through talking about this before
Yeah,
you broke us
I
up.
know. I know. It's just So I get a trade offer from Jeff, and I don't really care. I usually keep them secret because sometimes it screws with what they're trying to do. So he sends me a trade for Calvin Ridley for Tom Brady. And I text him and I say, "What's this about?" And he's like, "Oh, well, you have Jared Goff. He sucks balls. He's terrible. You should get the greatest quarterback of all time." And I'm like,
The same
Jeff,
Jared Goff
I go,
you traded
"Jeff,
for
I don't have any wide receivers. Calvin Ridley's my best wide receiver. Why would I want to trade him for Tom Brady?" Well, this, and this. And I'm like, no. Jared Goff was 7th last year in points. Tom Brady was 14th. So your math is not adding up. He's like, well, if you want to be, what did he say? He's like, only a moron wouldn't take this trade. I'm like, first off, don't insult the person you're trading with, because now I'm gonna decline the trade, you jackass.
Rule number 1.
Yeah, and so I'm like, done. Not even gonna talk about it. And then he's like, okay, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. I want to give you a fellatio, blah blah blah. But by this point, it's already over, and I'm just like thinking to myself, if I've ever undersold a trade to somebody, I'm sorry. I will never do it again, because that was absolutely garbage. Garbage. If you're gonna trade with somebody, try to make it legit. Like, I've had trade conversations with Adam today. He actually, for once in his tight ass life, is pretty reasonable. Fatherhood's changed him. So, if word to the wise, if you're gonna trade with somebody, make it sensible. Don't offer Tom Brady for Calvin Ridley, you
How about this,
jackass. What's up?
I'm going to make him an offer he can't refuse.
Exactly. Why not?
That's simple.
In this league too, in my opinion, it can be tough to trade because we change rosters. So, every year. So, I mean, like, perfect example, last year, Drew, he offered me a really good trade. I took it. Before that, I mistakenly didn't take a trade Adam offered me, and I mistakenly didn't take a trade that Train offered me. All were fair. This year, I don't know. Drew did one to me today too. He wants like Le'Veon Bell and DK Metcalf for who was it? Hold
I
on,
don't
let
know.
me
Jeff, if you're out there and listening, if you want to give away your best player to me again, all ears.
Yeah, here, listen to this trade. Le'Veon Bell and DK Metcalf, which find DK Metcalf for Damian Williams and fucking Deshaun Jackson. How fucking smart is that?
Not very.
Stupid. Like, if you're gonna jerk me off, at least spit on your hand or something. Like, you're not doing anything for me. Drew, we did a really good trade last year, and then you offer me this garbage. So stupid.
In my opinion, that sucks.
Thank you. And that's my opinion on trading in this league as of right now.
What league is that?
It's the Busch League.
All right. Well, let's hop into the Busch League. Why not?
Yeah.
So, good job to Jeff for getting in his recap on time.
Very nicely done.
Again, it was really good. Again, if you guys want to you can do it either way. You can record yourself, or you can pin it up to the Slack page. Either works, but great job to Jeff. But let's run through kind of the scores again. We got Night Train Rain 112.6 over the Big Hoss 95.4. Train was led by Patrick Mahomes, DeAndre Hopkins, and Larry Fitzgerald. Larry Fitzgerald is old as fucking dirt. Still putting up 21.3 points in our fantasy league, though. So mad props to him. The Peppy Kids going 1-0 over the Heartbreak Kid, 108.9 to 94.7. Lamar Jackson, just an interview with him. He thinks that he's going to be the best quarterback of all time. That will not be true, but good for him for throwing up big points this week. The Heartbreak Kid had the Vikes defense, 19 points. Hell of a job on the black punt interception. Team Aponte, 124.5 over the Soup du Jour, 117.3. Both good weeks for these guys. Christian McCaffrey put up 37.9. And that goddamn Jets defense, 27.2 points. Very impressive. Jeffrey going 1-0 over the Just Drew It Dumpster Fire, 108 to 96.6. Jeff had kind of a cast of characters running the show. Russell Wilson, Matt Sky putting up 16.6 points. Emmanuel Sanders, 17.1. The heart attack went off. Don't see this staking around. But won 149.3 over the Breast and Pants, 75.2. Didn't even need to put some starters on the field. But all in all, good run. His best player was the Tennessee defense, which that can't be sustainable for the year. The last game of the week was the easy as a beasy, taking down the pre-snap adjustments 137.1 to 103.6.
No one cares. No one
Derek
cares.
had 2 guys over 30 points, and another guy just right on the cusp. John's high score was 22.7 points. Nothing crazy there. However, 1,323.2 points. That is quite a bit, almost 100 points more than what our week 1 scores were last year. Getting the highest. Huh?
Last year was high too. I mean,
Yep.
Just keep going up.
High score was Hartman. Low score was Tim Grieve. Grieve at the 75.2 mark.
That's terrible.
That's real bad. Sammy Watkins, top performer in the league. 42.3 points. Good for him. He's on Soup's bench. All right. Anything out of the ordinary that you guys saw week 1 in the Busch League before we get on to some transactions?
Yeah, I saw something out of the ordinary. Derek's team won because it sucks.
Scoreboard.
So no Super Bowl
Score.
hangover. So
No,
that's good.
No, we're back.
We'll
I
just
just
see
can't
your
believe
ass in the
that you're gonna.
playoffs. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, if your hope is to ride Derrick Henry and Austin Eckler to another championship.
I don't know. My quarterback seems to do pretty good too.
Yeah,
You know, Matt, usually I don't come after you, but you really shouldn't talk. With
My
running
wide
backs.
receivers are Odell Beckham and Mike Evans. It's not like they suck.
we'll see.
Yeah.
True.
We'll see. We'll
He
see.
seems like a nice
The
guy.
Browns offense was awful. All hype.
Which is,
All hype. No.
and that was the second highest scoring team with the Browns offense being awful. Feel pretty good.
Yes, because you're
Mike Evans scored
because your
basically
running
nothing.
backs because your running back scored 60 points.
You got to have a balanced team, Matt. You can't go all one position.
Mm.
You
Matt's
should
got
change your
data
name
that
to
backs that
Thanos, Derek. It's all about balance.
up.
Gotta balance the universe.
Exactly.
All right, enough of you guys just shooting shit back and forth. Transaction-wise, there wasn't anything super crazy other than Drew is active, making some moves. The train had a couple moves. Jeff, he made some,
Surprisingly quiet.
yeah, only a couple, but that's all right. He'll pick it up in a couple weeks here.
His fiance must be monitoring his spending.
He just needs to get some of that savings back after spending it on the ring. Then he'll be all right. But moving forward, you're looking at the pick'em from last week. The results, no shocker here in the pick'em. Dave goes 4-2, Matt goes 3-3, John goes 2-4, Drew went 2-4, and everybody picked Minnesota for the tiebreaker.
Hell yeah.
let's
Hey, breaking news sounder. We've got a message into the chat window.
Okay.
You didn't know? Your ass better call somebody!
Viewer Travis Flanagan.
Love
Hi,
Trav Flanagan.
Hi, Trav.
This week, gentlemen, should I start Sony Michel or give Montgomery another chance?
Whew.
I think we
Michelle.
screwed him last week. I think,
Yeah, we
So-
did. We did.
but it's against the Denver defense in Denver. Denver's defense couldn't stop Oakland, but it is in Denver, and the Patriots go to Miami, and we all saw what Baltimore did to Miami. So
It's a usage thing. If Montgomery's not going to get the ball, you can't play him.
This just in, not taking Thompson's thoughts.
you know what, Travis? Fine.
No, I
Won't say
mean,
anything.
you can't play Montgomery until he's proven to get carries.
Hey Matt, can
Yeah.
you
They're gonna
type
give-
in? Oh, sorry.
Sony
If they're gonna
Michel,
give
I
Mike
think, is your
Davis
play this
carries-
week.
Yeah, it's easy. That's not even close.
I think that New England's going to be up like 4 scores in the first quarter.
Agreed.
They're going to
Hey.
run the ball for 80% of that game.
Hey Matt, ask if you can type in there. Ask Travis who won when we faced each other in our Empire League this week. See if he'll answer that one.
for you!
You don't need to type it. He's listening,
Yeah, he can
obviously,
hear
if he's
it.
in the
I'm not
chat
gonna
window.
type
Yeah, no, I want to rub salt in the wound. What up, Salt Moon? Screw them.
This also just in bottom of the 8th. Twins are down 5-2. Guys on first and second. Now 1 out. But
Okay.
Going to the game
I'll
tomorrow.
keep giving
Anybody
those.
else? Anybody else going to be at the game tomorrow?
Nope. I have a whiskey tasting as a closing celebration. 2 loans.
See the forecast for tomorrow, John?
Yeah, I probably won't need to go.
Derek's gonna play softball in the rain.
You know what I'll
With-
probably get to do, Derek? Is I'll
With a
probably
South Minneapolis umpire.
get to go back and get my hats or whatever the special is, like we did last year.
Yep.
Where's
Let me
the?
know.
Will do.
Do we need to ask Trev Flanagan if he's going to the Gopher game on Saturday? I thought this was the one he was going to.
Yeah, well, hopefully he responds back because I've been trying to get him to go, and he keeps crying to me that hunting is more important. So
I mean, we got a fun tailgate.
I know.
We'll be around for a whole nother week.
Yeah, I know. I've
Trav
said
Flanagan,
if we're
a
gonna
blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while, Thompson.
Boom.
well, I found it
Love
this
that.
last week, so
Screw them.
joke's on
If
you.
we play them 10 times, they might win 9.
I totally Antonio Browned you, Travis, and you liked it.
That's weird. All right, let's move into week 2. All right, we're gonna start with the Heart Attack is playing Team Aponte right now. The I don't have the lines, but
-5.
Heart Attack's projected at 103.6, and Team Aponte is projected at 97.8.
Yep, -5
We'll
and a
start
half.
with. Yeah, they could have done that math.
Yep.
All right, I'm gonna go Heart Attack.
Jesus.
I don't think that the Team Aponte's got it in them. Let's go. Next is Matt.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Vikings offense. I think faces a much improved defense this year in Green Bay, and not that the offense did a whole lot, but the running game will be slowed down a lot. I'm going Max Aponte in the upset.
Wow. Did you know that Baker Mayfield is actually projected to have more points than Kirk Cousins this week?
I think that'll be most weeks.
Should be most weeks. Next, I got Derek.
I got Adam. He goes off to hot starts typically, and I don't see any reason why that would change this week.
Ready? Juanito?
Dave, refresh my memory. Did Max win last week?
Max is 1-0.
He did.
Oh,
he
he is,
scored
okay.
125.
He did, okay. Ooh, usually, that throws a wrench in it. Usually Max starts off really slow, and then he wins like 8 in a row and wins the division.
Yep.
I am going to Hartman is Adam. Adam Hartman has
Adam
always
Hartman.
just been I'm not gonna go against him. I'm gonna pick Adam.
All right, Heart Attack. All right, next we have 2 guys on the show tonight. We have both 1-0. We have Easy as a Beezy, projected as a
Easy as a B.
no,
Z.
Easy as a Beezy.
Beezy.
As he as
A,
Bezzy.
B, C.
For those that don't know what you're saying, what is the team name? Who's it for? Is it
It's
BC
Derek.
Johnson?
This is Derek
It's BC
Hartman.
Johnson, right? That's what you're
Correct.
going for.
BC.
versus Night Train Rain because he can't have a name. I think he's about a 7.2 favorite, 7.5 favorite over the Night Train Rain. Train's going to score that 100 to 110 as always because that's what his team's set up to do. Derek could keep going off like he did last year. I'm actually going to pick the upset on this one. We're going Night Train Rain over
Wrong.
Yeah, baby.
Easy as a Beezy.
Wrong.
Easy as a Biza.
Easy as A, B, C.
Please do this bit all year because it's gonna drive him crazy. Please do it.
Easy as a Bessie. Okay. Matt, you're next.
Screw them.
Yeah, I'm going me. Big pickup with Giovanni Bernard with
Wrong.
Joe Mixon hopefully out. That'll help
Mhm.
my chances a lot. I just need some stability at running back, and I'll be good. So I'm taking myself.
Sounds like every year, Train.
All right, Derek. Do I even need to write
I
it
just
down?
made up. I just had to pick up mid-show. Picked up a new tight end. Mark
Did
Andrews.
you know that
is
you
so
can only
hot
do
right
that
now.
after they've sat out 1 day on the one-way day waiver wire?
Oh, that's how that works.
Yep.
Sorry, I've been in this league for like 12 years. I didn't know.
Jesus, you guys just taking shots at everybody. Good lord.
All right, John Thompson, who do you got?
So
By the way,
this
I
game,
picked myself because
You already said that.
Repeat confidence is high.
the easy as a buy side picked himself.
Yes.
Wrong.
So basically, what this game is going to come down to is
Kick.
which owners' shitty running backs are going to outscore the other shitty running backs, because they both have awesome QBs: Pat Mahomes, Deshaun Watson, quality wideouts: Hopkins, Adams for Matt, Galladay, Beckham for Derek. By the way,
Evans.
Derek has Watson, Matt has Mahomes, and Evans. Derek has Evans. So I am going to go with the buy side. The buy side is my pick. I don't know why.
That is.
Derek just shakes his head. He's not even happy. He's just mad.
No, don't write that down. Don't write that down. Don't write that down. No, write it down. Write it down. Yeah, write it down.
Easy as a bison.
You know, if
Wrong.
I don't like this one. I don't like this matchup. It's not fair. Yeah,
All right,
it
we're
does.
moving on.
It matters a lot.
So we got another two-time champion as a 4.9 point favorite going in. We have the pre-snap adjustments versus the Dillon Panthers. It's basically the Saquon Barkley versus Le'Veon Bell show. So I am. This is a toughie.
Don't do it with your heart. Do it with your brain.
I know. I got to go with the. I got to go with the underdog in this one again. I'm going to the Dillon Panthers. Matt.
Yeah. Give me pre-stamp adjustments. I'll take the favorite.
Okay.
You are
Jeff
the
is
smartest
down-
man alive.
Wise.
Jeff is down Tyreek Hill.
Mhm.
That definitely hurts him. Pre-snap adjustment picks up Mecole Hardman to try to
Drafted him.
fill that.
Drafted him.
Sorry,
Look
put
at
him into the lineup then.
yeah.
Which, in my opinion,
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
but I'm gonna go with pre-snap adjustment this week.
All right. Juanito.
You know, I stomp mud holes in people for a living, week in and week out. I'm gonna open a couple of Steve Weisers on the Dillon Kitty Cats, which could you be any more unoriginal, you jackass Dillon Panthers? First off, you don't have clear eyes and you don't have clear hearts, and no, get a better team name, you jerk off. See, I tried to combine jerk off and jackass. You get it.
Jerkass.
Yeah, and then change your logo.
Still a better name. A jerkass is a better name than easy as a
jerk
biz.
ass. Yeah, that should be your team name.
Wrong.
And then put a picture of your face as your team logo and call the jerk asses. Pre-snap adjustments. I'm gonna be like Thanos, and I'm gonna snap my fingers, and everything is gonna go back to normal because Stone Cold said so.
So good. All right. Halfway through, boys.
Nicely
We
done.
got the next matchup. We have another close one. We have the Soup du Jour as a 6-point favorite on the Heartbreak Kid. Both of them are 0-1 on the season. I'm starting to believe in this Philadelphia offense. Carson Wentz.
I hate the fucking Eagles, man.
Carson Wentz playing pretty good. Zeke, played halfway decent for not being around. I'm gonna go soup du jour. Matt Train.
Yeah, I'm going soup also. Could Kerryon Johnson, could the Detroit Lions have been any less? I mean, they could not have been more Detroit Lions-like than they were last week. A lot of hype behind Kerryon Johnson. They had a big lead. Couldn't hold the lead. Couldn't get it done. Fumbled it away in typical Lions fashion. And I think that's kind of I think that's Langer Banger's kind of wild card that he needs to perform to be competitive. So I'm going Trevor.
Yeah, I mean, Tim Lang has Michael Thomas and Travis Kelce, which obviously are two good players, but you look at Soup's team and Wentz, Elliott, Gurley, Cooper, Watkins. I mean, that's a solid lineup. I gotta think that he pulls through this week and gets the W.
Sammy Watkins had a good week last week. Still doesn't prove that he's not a bust. But last week showed that he does have the potential to be a really stud wide receiver. He is going to come back down to earth a little bit, especially with Tyreek Hill being hurt, but that's not going to stop Soup from winning. So I'm going to pick the soup du jour.
Oh, sweep it across the board. All right, in the next matchup, we have the Dumpster Fire Drew Vogt versus the Peppy Kids. Peppy Kids 1-0. Drew is 0-1. The Peppy Kids are a 5-point favorite. I'm picking against. Both these guys got two quarterbacks that I wouldn't.
Wild
I would
cards,
start
man.
3 of the 4 here.
Wild card.
So I think I got to go. I mean, watching Big Ben on Sunday night, they do not have their shit together. So I got to go Peppy Kids.
Yeah.
Maddie?
Yeah, I like Peppy Kids too. Drew has owned this matchup over the lifetime. Drew's 12-6 against Phil all time, but only 2-4 in the 12-team era. And I think I like Phil's team. A lot of projected points here. I think Josh Allen is a deal breaker for me for Drew.
I tend to agree. In my opinion, Drew's team kind of sucks. Not a huge fan. The trade he offered you, John, is laughable.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I don't like it. I got to go Phil. Peppy Kids.
I love it. All right. Johnny Thompson.
It's Cyclone Week down in Iowa City, and Iowa's going to go ahead and bring that trophy back, and Phil is going to go ahead and make like Iowa, and he's going to pull this one off as well. So I'm going Phil.
I love it. Just looking up the spread here for our tiebreaker this week. But final game of the week, we have both teams 0-1. We have the underdog breast implants versus the favorite Big Hoss. I look at this as more of a pick 'em. I think my team is overall better than Greaves, Dolls, whoever's running the show down there. I think Kamaro's going to play a lot better than he did last week. I think that Saints offense just needed to get going, and now it's finally pumping. So, he scored 20 points without a touchdown last week. I think he'll be able to get me into that 30 range this week, and that will put me ahead. So I'm going Pike.
Yeah, Dave with the 4-1 edge in the 12-team era against Grieve. Grieve
And I whooped that guy's ass.
Grieve has had a tough time with a lot of people, but Dave, as much as anybody, I'm going Dave.
Boy, I thought I didn't like Drew's team. I just took a look at Greaves' team. Whoa. Holy shit. Dave, I mean, I don't know if Greaves going to win a game all year.
He needs to do some work.
You better work that waiver wire, Alyssa.
So my analysis has nothing to do with football. I was doing some creeping the other day. I was looking at some pictures. I like to keep up on you guys, see how your kids are doing. Dave, how you're doing. Derek, where you're traveling. And I stumbled upon some doll pictures, and anytime a guy wears a hooded sweatshirt with the sleeves cut off with a t-shirt underneath it, needs some serious fashion help. So, Dave, you are way more fashionable. You are way more better dressed. You, sir, are definitely going to win this matchup. Big Hoss.
Awesome. Like that. All right. As of this morning, the Westgate Superbook has the New England Patriots as 18.5 point favorites against Miami in Week 2. Given that point spread, do your New England Patriots cover, or is it going to be a Week 2 letdown?
Where's the game at?
It's down
Miami.
in Miami.
In Miami.
Basically, just scouting out places to stay for the Super Bowl for your New England Patriots. I'm going to say that they cover that 18.5 point spread.
New England has had trouble with Miami over the years, and
They have.
I mean they've had a lot of just
1-4 in their last 5.
yeah weird losses to Miami. Miami could not have looked worse last week. Could not have looked worse.
We could have talked about that in the beginning too, about how their players don't want to play, and how a lot of guys on that team think it's a big time liability that they're just going to ole and get somebody killed.
I think there's no way that the Dolphins win this game, but it's going to be kind of, I don't know, probably a grinded out victory by a couple touchdowns for the Patriots. I'll say that the Dolphins cover.
I could easily see that. New England jumps out to a lead. They run the ball 50 times, win by 14 to 17 points. That said, I think Tom wants to huck the ball around a little bit and get in some practice, maybe run up that score. So I will take the Patriots to cover.
All right. John.
Tom Brady wants to play with his new toy. His new toy will probably play on Sunday. He's going to sling that pigskin like he's Johnny Moxon back in the day for the West Cannon Coyotes. Patriots are gonna cover.
As first team all state, I can put the ball wherever I want to. I'll make it rain out
How
here.
do we not have any Varsity Blues quotes on that soundboard? One of the best football movies of all time.
Season 10. Season 1 had him.
I don't want your life. Especially with Tweeter and how absolutely horrible he is as a human being in that movie. Yeah, we definitely need
the best.
Yeah, it is hilarious. But it is it is not hilarious because #MeToo.
What?
Screw them!
There's a scene in there that just like it's very cringeworthy. It's very Antonio Brown-esque, sort of speak. Do you remember which one I'm talking about? What? No. There's a scene where Mox is like they're getting ready for practice and Tweeter's like doing his pants. No, and he goes, "Yeah, you get him good and drunk, you give him a couple of pills," and it's like, oh good God, man, Jesus.
1999 was a different time.
Yeah,
it was.
Those were good pills, man.
I was just like, oh man.
Bill Cosby stuff.
I see the Duke lacrosse team all over again. Even though that's fake news, but yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, boys, I think that brings us to the end of the list here today. Got any other hot talkers going around? What are your guys' thoughts on PA doing some of the wild hockey games?
For it.
Yeah, I guess I just want to see how he'll call it. It's way more fast paced. It's back and forth like that. Yep. It's gonna be. I mean, he does a good job at horse racing, which is slow but fast in a way, I guess. So, yeah, I think
that's 12 horses for a minute and a half.
Yeah.
This is guys changing on the ice all the time.
Yeah.
We'll see. I'm excited that he's gonna try it. And obviously it's not going to be every day, so he can get better at it. And probably had to pass some sort of interview.
If
sure
Zach
he had to-
Halverson can do hockey games,
True.
I'm pretty sure Paul Allen can.
Yeah, he's
That's
a
true.
professional. I don't know quite about his hockey chops, mediocre at best, but he's a professional. He can do it.
Yep. And I guess if he's just play-by-play and he's got a good color guy to fill it in, he'll do just fine.
Is
And-
Pia going to be on radio then? Because he's going to take over for Tom Kurtz. Well, yeah.
Bob
Yeah.
Kurtz, yeah.
Bob Kurtz, yeah. So then
that's-
Tom Reed
that's
should be his
tougher
play-by.
even. I mean,
Tom Reed will be.
the play-by-play guy in hockey. I mean, once it's like whistle to whistle, the play-by-play guy talks, and then the color guy comes in between whistles almost.
Yep.
When I would have to head into work at night last year and listening to Bob Kurtz on the radio, like he barely had time to take a breath.
Yeah,
Like
I
he'd
mean,
be like,
Bob is legit.
yeah.
Yep.
Bob Kurtz would be like, oh, Jesus, I preceded the blue line over to Stalock. Stalock's the goalie, but you know what I mean? Like Stalock
Yeah,
over.
you're not good at it.
Yeah.
No, that's how
Clearly.
fast it is, though. And he was like perfect, on key, on point. Like,
Yeah.
it's crazy. So yeah, we'll see what happens.
All right, Twins' magic number today was 13. They are currently losing 6-2. 2 outs, bottom of the ninth, 2 people on. And the Cleveland is winning.
Real
in the
quick,
sixth.
because this podcast has went very long. Vikings-Packers Sunday. What do you boys think?
Vikings win.
Yeah, I think they'll pull it out.
It'll end up being 10 points, but
I think
it'll
we're
be close.
in a good position because I think the Packers have to win. Packers can't lose to the Vikings in Green Bay because they probably are not going to beat the Vikings in Minnesota. So I like that.
Haven't beat the Vikings since 2015, just so you know.
Yeah, I like that. I like that edge. I'll take the Vikings. I'm sure as hell not going to pick the Packers. So
Hell yeah. Yeah, I think it's going to be a close game. It's going to be nerve-wracking, but I think they'll get it done.
Wonderful.
Nope. So other than that, I don't think I have anything else.
Nothing.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for taking a listen on this wonderful Wednesday night. Sorry we were a little bit late getting on the air, but it turned out just fine anyway. Get your questions into the inbox. Keep letting the commissioner know if you have any other questions relating to transactions or any other rules that are also posted on the website for your easy listening. And just so those people who like to text me before 6 a.m., I don't get up until after 6 a.m., so I won't respond until I do get up. But that being said, I hope to see potentially John and Trav Flanagan down at the Gopher game this Saturday. Can't wait to see Derek there bright and early. Going to be a long day for me, going to a gala at night. Humble brag. But
Oh, good for
should
you.
be fun and should be a good win for the Gophers on Saturday, propelling us into border battle like 1-something on Sunday. So, again, thanks everybody for watching. We'll be back next week, and have a great weekend.
Bye.
All right.
Repeat confidences, huh?
Great cash, homie. You play to win the game.